up guys, Adam Retro Moments here, and today we are in the middle of Nagoya, right beside Oasis 21 as you could see, for some hard off retro game hunting. So this is actually the very first hard off that I ever went to, and that's because my apartment is very close to this one. And yes, I did a video of this before, and I realized that I didn't really go through everything in here, so that's what we're about to do today. So the first thing we can see when we enter the store is of course the showcase and some other good stuff. For example, we got the Neo Geo stick free for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, which is an exact replica of the Neo Geo AES arcade stick. $94 for that. And in here we got some great games from Tecmo, Ninja Gaiden there for the Famicom, $60, and we got a Game Boy Advance SP in Famicom colors, going for $100. So I guess it's pretty rare. DuckTales 2 there as well. And here we got some Famicom goodness in its complete form. Ice Climbers $50. And a copy of Terranigma there for the Super Famicom. Was never released in the US. A high quality RPG game. I was lucky to live in Europe so I could play it. For all you Americans out there, you should definitely pick it up if you get the chance, of course. Oh, and here we definitely got something you don't see every day. It's the WonderMega, the Sega Genesis Mega Drive with built-in Sega CD, $715. Pretty rare, you don't come across these very often, so that's cool that they have it here. A little too pricey for my sake. And here's a regular Genesis or Mega Drive, $75. So as you can see, they're more expensive than the Super Famicom ones, since Super Famicom was way more popular back in the days, and Mega Drive never really hit Japan, you know. Anyway, moving on with some Super Famicom cartridges here. We got Turtles Mutant Warriors, which was the fighting game that was released. $10 for that. Let's see if we got some other interesting titles. Arkanoid, classic shooter. $10 for that as well. And on the side here we got some Famicom cartridges. And further in we got Switch, and we also got complete Super Famicom games here. So let's see if we can find something good here. I can spot Rockman X3 here. It's pretty nice. Only own X1 so far, so I'm definitely looking to pick up X2 and X3. And this one is 4,000 complete. That's a pretty good price actually. And the condition looks really good too. Might have to pick that up later. Let's put the Seiken Densetsu 2 there for show. Let's see what else is here. Here we got X1. $15 complete. Man, that's pretty awesome actually. The box is a little squeezed there on the side, but I mean for that kind of cheap price, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, that's it for the Super Famicom games. Let's take a look at some Switch games. I do own a Switch, but I don't play it very often, so I was thinking maybe I should change that. Here looks like a cool action game. I don't know many of these titles actually, haven't really kept up with Switch, but I do want to play some newer titles actually, so I will definitely look into it. And then we got some PS4 games, Minecraft $15, something that all the young people are playing today. We got Metal Gear Survive, haven't heard about that one. Co-op sounds good at least. I know that when PS3 and Xbox 360 was released, the couch co-op kinda disappeared because of the online multiplayer became a thing. But I really hope they're bringing back the couch co-op to the newer generation of games. It's definitely a different thing to sit down in the same room with some people and play games. Anyway, going further here, we got some PS3 games and some limited edition PlayStation stuff here. Seems to be mostly PS3. Beyond Two Souls, great game. I've actually played that one. Fantastic adventure from the creators of Heavy Rain, which is also a really good cinematic game that you should check out. Then we're getting to some Sega Saturn here. We got Gunbird for $30. amazing shooter. And a Darius game that I haven't played yet actually. Should definitely check that one out later. And up here we got some Xbox 360. Let's see if there are any good titles. It's not often you see Xbox games at all in Japan. As you can imagine, PS3 was all over the market. We got Devil May Cry there for $5. Seems like most of the games are $5. Assassin's Creed as well. Gears of War, Borderlands, Call of Duty 4, Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, very regular titles as you can see. But this right here looks more interesting. N3. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I'll check it out later. But let's keep going here. We got some N64 boxed games. Not many at all. And here we got a special controller for a rhythm game. And we also got Mario Paint for only $8. That's already worth it for the box art. And here we got some Game Boy Advance games. Not many. Mario Kart Super Circuit for $10. And a boxed Pokemon Red, or Pocket Monsters as it's called here, $15. And some Famicom at the end here. Mario Bros 1 complete, $20. And yeah, I guess that's about it here. Let's keep going further into the store, because there's a lot more to see. Here we got the discount area. We got a Taito wheel for PlayStation 1. Very interesting piece of equipment. But let's see if we can find some interesting games in here. Probably not, since they just want to get rid of all the crappy games. I mean, who wants to play the horse racing games, really? But there's a Super Famicom there for $40 and a 3DS for $50. But that's about it. There wasn't much new stuff going on there, so let's head further into the store, because everyone's favorite part, the junk section, is still here. But let's see, I think we got some game stuff here. A Game Boy Advance SP with its box even. And also a PS Vita for 7,000 yen, so around $70. Sounds like a pretty good price actually. And then we also have a Famicom disk system for $30 here. That's not too shabby as well. But it's time for the bins in the junk section. Where do we start is the question. A single Super Famicom game laying here. And here's the rest. So let's take a look in here. Street Racer for $1, great kart racing game, and Dragon Ball Z $1. And here we got an interesting title, Papava-kun $1, definitely a cool game. Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania for $1, and everyone's favorite arcade sports game, NBA Jam. And Suzuka 8 Hours, never even seen that game. So yeah, that's about it for this bin, I guess. But this game from Enix, released in '94, is a very underrated platformer that was only released in Japan. It was a manga series that became really popular in Japan, so they decided to make a game about it. And even if you don't know anything about the manga, the game is still fun to play. But let's dig into this mixed box here. Seems to be all kinds of stuff here. We got Famicom games, Game Boy games. And what is this? A Konami Racer on the Famicom? That's strange. Never even seen that. Probably a game that wasn't released in the West then. And now for some Game Boy games. Not sure what this is, but this looks definitely really interesting. For $1, that's no money, right? And here it looks like we have Digimon for the WonderSwan. Came out right after Pokemon, trying to cash in on the trend there. Flip Pole looks kinda interesting with that neat artwork there. And here we got a pink anime game. And here's another game that I recognize. And now everybody, it's time to move over to the other side of the junk section where all the hardware stuff is. So let's see what we can find here today. Everything is very unorganized here, so you could pretty much find anything anywhere. We got some Wii's here, $12, probably in working condition, but you know how it is, everything here is untested. And here we got a gun con for the PlayStation 1 from Namco. Love these type of light guns, still very fun to play today. And here's Lethal Enforcers, Konami's own take on the light gun thing, where they made their own gun to be used with this game. It's kind of funny how they made the graphics to look really realistic when it was only a 16-bit game, you know. But nevertheless, it's a good game and it's a fun piece of history. And up on the top here we got a lot of PS2s and Xbox 360s and a few more Wii's. And some third-party stuff. Let's put the game back there. And down under here we got some consoles peeking out. Some very yellowed Super Famicoms. This one is for $3, but I would say that you can probably find better looking ones for $3 in other young sections. And here's a GameCube for $5. Looks pretty good though. GameCubes are usually really cheap here in Japan overall. We got a transparent blue N64 controller without price tag, probably $3. And a PS2 Slim is laying here for $20. And also a controller with it. We also got an N64 here for $15. I wonder why it would be so much more expensive than the other ones. That's a bit strange. I guess it's in pristine condition. But why would they put it in the junk section then? Yeah, the prices in here doesn't always make sense. But that's also a really good thing. And here we got all sorts of random things. And Super Famicom controller and a lot of cables in this one. Accessories for 3DS and Wii. And more light guns, of course. They're all over the place. And that's because it's hard to find CRT TVs, so they can't really check them anyways. And here's an interesting take of a Super Famicom controller with bulkier sides for better comfort, and a regular controller here. I don't see any price tags on these, but they usually are $2. And more cables here, another GameCube, of course. And in the next one we got some AC adapters and a Famiclone. More cables and controllers. And of course more light guns here. The GunCon 1. And here is also the GunCon 2, which is a little bit more uncommon, I would say. You could also use the D-pad to walk around in some of the games. Definitely a cool idea. Apparently Sony came up with that before Nintendo. But that's it for this time, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I'll answer every question I get, or at least try to. Until the next time, guys. See ya!